Hey guys, how's it going? It's Tanev here. Welcome to episode number 5 of this NHL 23 Draft to Glory franchise mode here with the Atlanta Gladiators on my channel. If you guys have missed episodes up to this point, head up into the description or head up into that corner. If you missed the last one, head down into the description and of course show your support down there with a like, sub, and notification. But today we are getting into the 2026 NHL Entry Draft where hopefully we can land a top 3, maybe top 4 pick here. We've got Erik Nightingale on the sites here. Obviously, Dane Livingston is the franchise player in this draft, but I think Livingston is a much better fit for what our team needs right now as far as a big offensive defenseman goes. So that is the goal here today for our draft, and we have a bunch of other players pinned too. So I'm going to keep going through, get some scouting done quickly, and then we will get to the draft. All right, and for the lottery today, the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to move from 8 to 1 to win the Dane Livingston lottery. Calgary's going to move from 1 to 2 to very likely pick Gavin McKenna, and then we're at pick 3, and I think we have to take Erik Nightingale at this point. All right, so as we hit retirement here and retiring players, let's see who calls it quits this year. And oh no, Ovi at 40 years old but still 94 rated Alexander Ovechkin is going to call it a career. That is too bad to see because I think he could have broken 1,000 goals quite easily. Still an amazing player, but we're going to see him retire, so that's too bad, but also frees up space for guys like Misa to move up the NHL scoring ranks. And as far as goalies go for this year for retirees, Craig Anderson, Yaroslav Halak, and Martin Jones are all going to break 100 wins there. Mark Giordano's kind of the big name D-man retiring this year. And do we have any Atlanta players retire? No, we do not. Perfect. So as far as the draft order is going to go here, I'm really hoping we should get Nightingale unless for some sick reason Calgary or Pittsburgh take a player off the board. Kyle Friesen, I doubt we get, but if we do, he would be a fabulous addition on the left wing. If not, then Samu Niinimäki would be my next option, and if that one fails too, just because they are kind of close, then we have Tuomo Santavori here as our backup option. Still looks like a really, really solid player, and we'll just develop and get better over time as well. So anyways, that's kind of our first 3 picks. After that, I've got a couple more picked out, but we will see what happens. And of course, our team's developing nicely. Lots of players up at solid overall ratings, and now it's just building out the last little support pieces around those guys to turn this team into a powerhouse. So, at pick number 1, the Pittsburgh Penguins will indeed take Dane Livingston first overall. Good to see. And second overall, Calgary does indeed take Gavin McKenna, so nothing going off the board yet. But let's see how good Erik Nightingale is, and he's 80 overall. So second best player in this draft probably. Erik Nightingale is a great fit for this team. Got that pinch and cycle option, which is exactly what our team plays, and all the other picks go according to plan as well. So there you go. All right, over to pick 35. And do we see those first two players that I had in mind picked? Looks like yes. Okay, so Friesen gets picked for sure, so we won't get him. That's too bad. But Samu Niinimäki is on the board, and for a 6'3", 4-year ETA goalie, if he is in the NHL by the time he's 22, I will be absolutely ecstatic because he's a 6'3", 200-pound, guaranteed X Factors goaltender. So let's take him, and welcome to the team, Samu Niinimäki. Looks like an absolute beast out of Liga, and 58 overall, not bad. We will take it for a second-round goalie this year. All right, so over to pick number 68 now, and at pick 68, we pretty much have to go with this guy here. His name is Ville Kontunen, another Finnish player. 5-year ETA, but still, if he's 23 by the time he becomes an elite defenseman in the league, awesome. So 51 overall there. Ville Kontunen, not a bad pick at all. And let's see, Silverberg was also a good second rounder, but considering that Kontunen got picked after these guys, okay, maybe Sheldon Wingles is a good pick too. I'll give them that. New Jersey gets not New Jersey, Washington gets a good player there. Santavori ends up in Minnesota. All right, so they've got a solid two-way forward there. And yeah, not a bad second going into third round here. So let's see how the rest of the third round goes. Ilya Vorobev, not a bad playmaker either there, but we did not have him fully scouted, so we didn't even really know he existed. Sonnenberg, not a bad goaltender either there at 18 years old. Yeah, very nice player there too. But coming up here at pick 101, the next player I have pinned, I've got a couple guys pinned. So we've got Josiah Eakin, but he is a 5-year ETA. He is guaranteed medium top 6. There's also Maurice Dampos, again 5-year ETA. Looks like a really good player as well. He's probably a sniper with the inside hand shot, but at this point, I think we're going to go with this guy here because we can use another center. He's a 3-year ETA with Sergei Zykov, however you say his name. And I'm going to take him here because he's still 18. He's got a late birthday and he's 63 rated. Like, come on, that's a gorgeous pick. Can't skate, can't hit very well, but puck skills, defense, senses, and shooting are all there. So over to pick 134 now, and we'll see those other guys get picked probably without a doubt because they all looked really good. Oh, there's also this guy, Matthew Dalton, that I completely missed. But yeah, you can see Eakin right there was 50 overall. He wasn't 57 overall, but he's also not 19 yet. Dampos, yeah, was a sniper. Probably would have been maybe a better option, potentially, but same with Vasyunov here too, but he's also probably almost 19. And apart from that, who else? Ooh, yeah, Rusakevich. We did miss. I will say that. We definitely did miss Rusakevich, but we got a center that we need. We already got 2 defensemen with Catton and Nightingale, so I'm okay missing on Rusakevich, especially since he's only 56 rated. Usually these defensemen have some kind of developmental flaws in them when they're super loaded on X factors, but just don't turn out. So instead, we are going to be looking at this guy, Dominik Watson, 3-year ETA guaranteed. So he's got to be like, what, probably 62 to 65 rated. And he's a sniper, guaranteed. So let's take him. Is he low elite? Yes, he is. And he's 65 rated. What a pick there. All right. So yeah, Dominik Watson, big improvement over the last season on his point production and just overall gameplay. So yeah, keep an eye on him because he looks like a really good player too. All right, so simulating over to pick number 167 here now, and really I think Watson is possibly the biggest steal of the draft, especially if he ends up turning out. Then yeah, he will be a huge steal there in the 5th round. But apart from that, just some medium starters here in round 5 for the most part. Ooh, no, we did miss Joey Fairchild as well. And Zachary Richter. Never mind that they both go to the same conference or close to the same conference as our team. So maybe we've got players to worry about there. After that, the next guy I had pinned was a fringe goalie because really I just don't see us. Well, actually, no, we weren't going to pick him. No, we were going to pick this other guy here. Where is he? Don't tell me he's been picked already. No, we were going off the board here. Yeah, so we're going to take Isaiah Jankowski, 18-year-old goalie. I'm hoping he's elite, and he's a fringe. Great, okay. So that one kind of stinks, but you know what? We will take it. It's a 6th round pick, so it's not the worst thing ever. It's not like we're really gambling a big risk of a pick or anything there. So yeah, for a 6th rounder, sure, okay, whatever. You know, not the best pick ever, not the worst. But yeah, it is what it is. All right. Was there any? Nope, just low top 9. Wow. Round 6 was awful. So for the last pick of the draft here, I had another guy pinned. I literally just had him pinned here. I'm really hoping he's a low elite as well. If he is, that'd be sweet. Ross Wilson is a low 4. Okay, so not bad, not great. It's round 7. You know, it is what it is. But we'll sim the rest of the draft. And yeah, it's a pretty good draft this year because we're adding probably 5 pieces that will make the NHL eventually, and Nightingale, Niinimäki, Kontonen, Zykov, and Watson. I expect all of those guys to be full-time players on the Gladiators, and hopefully that comes to fruition. All right, so as we simulate here into the offseason, we are going to have to re-sign quite a few scouts, but that's no big deal because they are the whole or sole reason why this team is succeeding or beginning to succeed at our plan here. So yes, it is a long-term plan. Yes, it is a multi-season rebuild here as a draft to glory, but you know what? It's starting to take its course, starting to push towards actually being a decent team here in Atlanta. So just give it a couple more years. I'm gonna say, what are we? We're in year 5, 6. We're going into year 5. Okay, so yeah, in year 5, you know, I expect the team to start to really develop, mesh well, do things like that. We've got a couple contracts here starting to pop off here. Guys like Kirill Vorobyov is going to be quite a bit of money, but totally going to be worth it in the end. So with guys that are going to be here long term, such as Vorobyov, we are going to start using the rule of 85, where you go 85% of whatever their asking price is. So in this case, we would be looking at an $8.05 million contract. We're going to go 8.5 just to hopefully get Vorobyov to sign. And if he doesn't, well, then it's no big deal. It's just we'll have to go back and offer him more money. The next big name player here is definitely Trenton Kidd. We should be able to get him too. We've got tons of money, but $6.925 million should be a $5.9 million contract about. So again, for a top 6 playmaker, totally worth the money. So yeah, we're trying to get as many guys to sign as possible here. As far as our goalies go, I do think it makes quite a bit of sense here to offer Blomqvist a long-term deal. Maybe not. Maybe if we can't offer it, you know, it is what it is. Karpotsev's getting a deal this year too. He will be our second best goalie in the AHL there. David Rittich we will likely sign too. And then after that, we really just have to pay out defensemen. We will be signing Erik Nightingale. He's going to be playing in our team without a doubt. And then, yeah, we just have to disperse money accordingly here. So a couple things we're going to do here. One of the first things is that Kirill Medvedov at 19 is not going to be playing yet, but we are going to buy out the roster spot of Teemu Vatanen, I believe, as well as Jaden Rhodes isn't going to be playing here either. He's just not good enough. So yeah, that's probably what we're going to do here. For defense anyways, the goaltending will be sorted. We just have to sign Rittich after the fact of our re-signing phase. Frank Vatrano will sign for 2 years at like $3 million. Achari and Johnson are real cheap deals too. Actually, we might not even sign them. Yeah, because we've got Salo who needs to play. We've got... I don't know. I guess we could sign those guys. I think we sign... Oh, who do we sign? Do we sign Johnson or do we sign Achari? Achari had a decent amount of points, 35 last year, versus Johnson had what, like 28? Okay, so yeah, we'll re-sign Achari. He's just the better player, simply. Okay, we'll sign him. Oh, I hit advanced day. Okay, that's cool. So we still have to get the left wingers and centers, but that's okay. Dylan Coughlin's going to cost us more money than $7 million for a year. And all right, okay, so we don't get either of those guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we got just about nobody who we offered a contract to. Cool. All right. So next up, we're going to buy out Ken Appleby. Get him out of the team, just so that Karpotsev can play. Next up for defense, we will go with Dylan Coughlin. offer him 2 years at $8 million, I guess, because why not? As far as our big name players go here, so Vorobyev being the first one, I wanted to sign him for eight years, so we might just have to pay him a 9 point. Let's try 9.25. I think he'll sign that. Then as far as Trenton Kidd goes, for 8 years, let's just sign him straight up for 6.75 million. See if he signs that. All right, so where were we on the right wing here? Salo for sure we're going to sign, so we'll buy out Johnson. All right. On defense, who else are we going to go for? Walsh we need, and Kalanos we need. So we're going to release Vatanen here. We'll buy him out. All right, so we'll get Walsh with that Vatanen clear up. And then after that, Burmistrov's progressing decently well, so I don't want to get rid of him yet. But maybe, yeah, Jeremy Grolot we'll get rid of. And then we will sign Kalanos to make sure he plays this upcoming year. So that should be good for defense there. The right wing should also be good now. As far as the left wing goes, we've got a couple players that definitely need to be re-signed here still. Guys like Alex Iafallo will sign for 2 years at $7 million. Just because we don't have anywhere else to disperse money. Mason Marchment will sign, yeah, sure, we can do 3 years at $2.4 million. Hopefully he signs that. Dominik Kahun should also sign, and same with, well, do we do Lombard or do we do Powell or Blair, or who do we sign here? I think Jenkins is out, so we'll buy out Ron Jenkins too. He's not exactly a phenomenal player. So we'll buy him out, we'll sign Blair, we'll sign Powell. Lindback actually was pretty decent this year, so yeah, we'll keep him around too. And then if we need to buy out Lomberg, we'll do that. For defense, do we do Zykov? Maybe we bring Sergei Zykov in. That might not be a bad idea either necessarily, just to have more prospects down the middle in the system. David Kampf we will sign here for 1 year at $4 million or something like that, maybe 5, just to bring him back and actually play him on our bottom line. McLaughlin, however you say his name, will sign. And then Dries, I don't think we need to sign necessarily. We could sign him, but let's just wait and see, because I would like to sign Zykov as well. So let's advance here. We do get Coughlin, Marchment, Iafallo, Kampf, McLaughlin, Kahun, Kalanos, Salo. Kidd does sign, Vorobyev does sign for those 6.75 and $9.25 million contracts. Those are good. We can't sign Powell, but we do sign Walsh, Karpatsev, and all right. So we're at full contract capacity here. As far as all expiring guys go, we're going to release Lomberg and we're going to release Dries, and then we will sign Powell, and then we will also sign, who's our other unsigned guy? See, we could go Watson, but he's just going to go back to junior. So instead, we are going to go with Zykov here, and we will sign Sergei Zykov and toss him to the Wolves in the AHL. All right, so that is free agency. Bit of a hectic free agency this year. We should get all those guys now that those other players are released or bought out. And let's go to free agency. So honestly, this is probably, knowing our luck, this is going to be the year where there's some sick undrafted free agent that we simply cannot afford to pay. And, well, let's see if that's the case. And, nope, doesn't look like it. All right, perfect. So funny enough, we probably could go for just about any agent on the market right now. But we'll probably, I want to go with Helmerson, but we can't. We need to sign a guy that is actually a player in the league that is undrafted. So that player will be Tanner Jeannot, probably. Yeah, all right, let's do it. 1 year, about as much money as you can physically pay a player. Let's do it. Tanner Jeannot, welcome to the Atlanta Gladiators. He's gonna be good, actually. Now that I think about it, he's gonna be a decent player. So we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't affect our team too much, but we'll pay him straight up $16 million 1 year as a contract filler. And I guess that works. All right, so shouldn't really be much of a question here as to whether or not Jeannot signs with us. We're not going to be making trades, though, so I am going to have to go and edit the trade block. Oh, and our roster's full. Sweet. Okay. That's not right. Our roster actually is not full, so that was a BS excuse on Jeannot's part. I mean, I get that he doesn't want to play for our team, but just say that at that point. Don't be like, oh, your roster's full, so I signed with someone else, and then I'm sitting here scratching my head like, our roster's not full, bud, so what are you going on about? Oh, well. Mind games, right? Mind games in the NHL. So who are we signing now? Kubel, nope. Scott Lawton's also drafted. My goodness. Are there any undrafted players in here? Artem Zub, sure. Sweet. 1 year, as much money as you can pay a guy. $16 million. Sign with our team. Why wouldn't you sign with our team? We're 49 out of 50 on contract capacity. I don't think we have any players that are going to go back to junior, but we might. Anyways, I would expect Zub to sign like right away here. And if he says contract or roster's full, then okay. I don't get it. Why? Okay, whatever. We'll sim to the next season. We'll send somebody down. But I don't want to take this cap hit that's coming up here, so I'm trying to figure out what to do. Because the problem is, we can't send anybody down. We can't buy anybody out. We can't do those things. Can we? Oh, I see. It's the goalie spot. Yeah, it's the goalie spot. That's where I messed up. It's David Rittich that we need to go back out and get. So let's do that right now. There he is, the good old G David Ritt. And 1 year, $16 million. How does that sound, David? Does that sound good? I think that sounds pretty good. All right, that makes sense now. I'm like, why do we have 49 out of 50 roster spaces and we can't sign anybody? That's right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is why. So, ta-da, Rittich signs. Let's go to the next year. So, guys, this is the team we're going to be going with for the upcoming season. It looks quite good, actually. I'm a little worried they're going to do really good, and then because of that, they're then not going to get a good draft pick. That's kind of all we're worried about at this point now with this team, because really the top 6 wingers are on the way. They're just taking their time to develop. That's about it. Apart from that, we have a really solid top 6 forward group built in here. We can sign bottom 6 guys as undrafted players and turn them into a solid bottom 6. But apart from that, you know, we've drafted most of these guys. They're looking really good. On the defensive end, we still need to put a little more drafting work in there. Philip Sekras has now made the team as an 80 overall 22-year-old defenseman. It took him about 4 years to get to the league, but yeah, he's looking really good now. And then, of course, the other guy here, Erik Nightingale, we're tossing him to the Wolves, getting him into the NHL, getting him NHL action, and hopefully it will result in him being a better defenseman at the end of the day. So that's where we're tossing him for now, is on that third pairing. He is going to get lots of special team time here, as you can see. Feel free to pause if you want to take a closer look at the special teams here, but, you know, they're looking pretty good overall. I'm actually quite happy with how the special teams turned out this year. It's better than I expected. So yeah, that's about all I can say here for special teams. But for extras, it's going to be the same kind of setup, same kind of thing. Very good players throughout here, but they just need a little bit more time to develop. That's really about it. And yeah, I'm really quite happy with how the team's looking. Again, the defense and goaltending should be the letdown or weak point here on this team that results in us getting a good pick. But yeah, that is our NHL team anyways. As far as the AHL team goes, it's not bad either. I'm trying to get as many of our prospects in here and playing as possible. So guys like Pedro Eves, Oren Strom, even Sergei Zykov, and a whole bunch of our bottom six here you can see are drafted players. The big names here that we are focusing on for the AHL on defense is definitely Ronald Walsh. He's the main guy we want to try to get into our team as soon as possible. And then, of course, Brian Kalanos unfortunately doesn't fit properly. He's a pinch and shoot defenseman, but still might turn out to be something if we are lucky. And then, of course, the goaltending looks quite good actually here in the AHL with Ian Blomqvist leading the way, and then Nikita Karpatsev, our 2024 draft pick, I believe. He's an elite prospect, so we'll see if he actually turns out, but those are the teams this year. And as far as captaincies go, we are going to be rolling with, I don't know if I want Achari necessarily to be our captain this year. I think Dominik Kahun gets the C. We will give Strome an A, and then we will also give probably Lawrence Pilot an A in the AHL anyways. As far as NHL captaincies go, I'm still trying to decide, because if Michael Misa leads the team for another year, then we'll name him the captain. But if Vorobyov has a bounce back year, puts up like 80 plus points on the first line, he could be the captain too. So it's really just deciding that now at this point as to who's going to get what number kind of thing, or not what number, what letter really. And as far as Nightingale goes, I think I want to give him number, he's normally number 46, but Lizotte has that number right now. So I think we give him number 3 for his rookie year and just see how he does with it. If he doesn't do well, maybe we change it next year or something, but yeah, that's what we're doing for now with the team and captaincies and everything. Alright guys, so now that I've got all my scouting done, we can check out how the teams are looking for this upcoming year. And as far as the Birmingham Warriors go, since we are playing a slightly weaker roster, this year we are looking at 63 offense, 68 defense, and 71 goaltending. And as far as our NHL team goes this year, we're looking at 98 offense, 84 defense, and 76 goaltending. So I'll be back with you guys at the end of the 2026-27 regular season, and we'll see how it goes. Alright guys, so this season the Atlanta Gladiators go 33-41-8 for a 74-point record on the season. That puts us dead last in the Metro, and also puts us, well, Philly wins the Philadelphia wins President's Trophy, but that puts us third last in the league behind just St. Louis and Nashville. So two teams that really I thought would be a bit better, but I guess not. How good's St. Louis? St. Louis is, they're not bad. Like, they should be better. I don't know why they keep finishing so low, but anyways, that is that. As far as the scoring goes this year, Matvei Michkov puts up a 92-point season. Definitely a jump up. He's been getting better and better every year. 16.8 shooting percentage is really high as well on his 42 goals there. Michael Hage scored 31 goals this year as well, so that's a slight improvement from last year. Actually, it's a huge improvement from his rookie year. So yeah, he's looking really good. Trenton Kidd scores 66, so again, an improvement there. Vorobyov gets back up to 70 points, so not bad. Not his best season ever, but again, not bad at all. He's playing on a really good line there. And then, of course, Michael Misa scores 86 points from his 76 last year. He's going to be probably about 93, 94 rated by next season, I would assume. So yeah, that's really good to see. As far as Nightingale and Sekris goes, they both scored 22 and 21 points. So yeah, a couple really good offensive right-handed defensemen there. So yeah, they're going to be good for a while here, as they're both quite young. Rittich and Thompson both weren't great. Rittich was actually better, surprisingly. And then, yeah, Nightingale and Sekris were our only 2 rookies this year, so not bad there at all. As far as the entire league goes, McDavid, Matthews, Marner, Draisaitl, McKinnon, and Eichel were kind of your top scorers. Rantanen also scored just over 100. Ovi still kicking around with 55 goals there, so he will have broken the 1,000-goal mark now. That's pretty impressive. So, yeah, good to see there from Ovi. And 55 goals is actually going to put him 3rd place, just behind Khalil Osborne and Austin Matthews. So, yeah, 2 other very prolific goal scorers there. Bordeleau, Nylander, Draisaitl, Rossi, and Buchnevich all score over 70 assists, so that's quite impressive. Bordeleau's looking amazing, but yeah, your best plus-minus guy there was Thomas Hertl. Most penalty minutes was indeed your very own Kirill Vorobyov there. He just takes a ton of penalties. I don't even know how, but he does. So yeah, that's kind of funny to see. As far as rookies go this year, it looks like the best player out of the draft class was Callum Ritchie. I mean, he's 22. Terry Huey, however you say his name, that went to Boston, was actually a really good pick too. Matvei Petrov has a great season. Kelly Van Riemsdyk scores over 50. Cole Yzerman scores over 50. Dane Livingston in Pittsburgh doesn't score nearly as much as I thought he was going to. So that's definitely an interesting one there. Vanier's great in New York there, and of course Gilbert Leroy, or Leroy, however you say his name, probably Leroy, yeah, Gilbert Leroy, also looking really good in LA. So as far as defense goes, Quinn Hughes yet again scores 84 points. Bouchard was pretty good, same with Hamilton, Makar, and D'Angelo. And for goalies, Thatcher Demko is the best in the league this year. So yeah, not too bad there. As far as our AHL team goes, they were definitely a bit better as they finished 2nd in their division with a 55, 24, and 5 record, and that puts them 3rd place in the entire league as well. And your best player on the team was Dominik Kahun, followed closely by Sergei Zykov. Let's go, look at that. 37 goals, 35 assists. He can shoot the puck, he can pass, he can do everything. Except maybe skate. His skating and physicality is a little low, but give him a little more time and he will be in the NHL for sure as well. Who else is good here? Sammy Salo's getting there. Pedro Reeves too. Those guys are starting to become legitimate players. Walsh is up to a 69. Okay, so not bad there. And Kalanos up to a 72. Not bad. All right. As far as goalies go, oh my goodness, Blomqvist would win 40 out of 59 games, have 8 shutouts, a 921 save percentage. He was prolific this year. So yeah, keep an eye on Blomqvist. He could still turn into something really good. And then, of course, Nikita Karpatsev, 13 out of 27, isn't great, but he still had 2 shutouts. So yeah, not bad there. But look at Blomqvist's shutouts. Like, he has been consistent here. That's what, 12, 19, 27 shutouts throughout 5 seasons already. Like, Blomqvist puts up shutouts, which is crazy. So, as far as looking at the entire league goes, Sogard just topped out Blomqvist. He played a ton of games and was really good. Your best rookie here is Nikita Radulov. Honestly, never heard of the guy before, but 100 points is pretty impressive. As a 4th rounder from 2024. Again, Zykov, also a 4th rounder from this most recent draft year, puts up 72, so he wasn't bad at all. And Radulov was actually the best player in the league this year, so that's pretty impressive. You don't see that very often. And yeah, very high scoring there from quite a few guys. But as you can see, Kahun's kind of in that top 5, 6, 7 right in there. So yeah, that's good to see as well. But we've got some much better players down in the system here. Best defenseman was Wyatt Kalynuk, or Kalynuk, however you say his name. Nelson Brindamore, not a bad D-man either. Scores 63 as a defensive defenseman. That's pretty impressive. Hunter Brushkowitz, not bad, but okay. So guys, just taking a peek at the draft class this year, and if we're picking third, I'm okay with getting Warren Fritz. I was really hoping we could get a guy like Stromberg because we need some power forwards on our team. He's 6'1", 194, but he's got like no weaknesses at all, so I'm assuming he's probably going to be about 82 to 83 rated. That would be my guess, but we'll see what happens with him. Apart from that, we've got quite a few other guys in the making for really good prospects here. Guys like Torsten Enlund, looks like he's a 3-year ETA in the 6th round. Like, that looks great. Shannon Butler, another good defenseman. Maybe Ronnie Hutton if we get a chance to land him. I would love to see him on our team. He'd be a really good center. There's lots of defensemen in this draft too, so if we end up falling to like pick 6 or 7, don't be surprised if I go for a guy like Nicholas Paulson or somebody like that instead, or even like Michel Ouellet or somebody, because there are options here in this draft for defensemen this year, and that would be a good option for us to bulk up. Morgan Harold is guaranteed an enforcer defenseman in the 7th round, so we'll take him probably. Jeffrey Locke, I'm going to try to get in the 2nd if we don't get a shot at a guy like Hutton. Then Locke is our backup pick. We've got Esteban Lizak here. We've got Craig Lee, and I'm hoping Corvo turns out to be at least a starter as well, but we're still scouting him as well. So yeah, that is what we're looking at for this draft. I think Fritz is going to be a really good player too. Physicality and defense on a sniper obviously isn't as expected, but we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get some lottery luck or something next episode. But yeah, I'll be back with you guys at the end of the 2027 playoffs here to see how the teams do. Alright guys, so this year we're going to see the San Jose Sharks and Laval Rocket win their respective championships, and yeah, it should be a good draft coming up for sure. I'm looking through here, and pretty much all the prospects we've scouted are looking like they're going to turn out to be good players. I don't think we're going to get all of them, obviously, like we don't have RFA picks or anything like that, so we will miss out on a lot of defensemen here, but it is what it is, and there are some good goalie options here too. Guys like Craig Corvo, Craig Lee, God, lots of Craigs, and then Esteban Lizak as well, also could turn out to be something pretty special, especially if he gets more playtime. But yeah, you guys have seen the rest of these prospects. The guy I'm really, really excited about is Enlund here, because he's looking like he's going to be a steal for sure. So yeah, that is kind of where we're going to leave this one off. Let's just go to awards, and then after that we will conclude the video. But really, it was not a bad season at all. We get lots of growth out of guys like Zykov. And yeah, it's impressive to see the team grow here. So looking at awards this year, McDavid is going to win the Art Ross as well as the Hart. Quinn Hughes wins back-to-back Norrises. Patrick Kane wins another Lady Byng. Callum Ritchie wins the Calder this year. Thomas Hertel wins the Conn Smythe. San Jose won the Cup? Conn Smythe, really? Okay. Spencer Knight wins the Vezina this year. Capo Kakinen and Caden Primo split the Jennings. Knyazov wins another Masterton somehow. Don't ask me how, but he wins it again. DeMello wins the Adams this year. Barkov wins his 3rd Selke in a row. McDavid wins the Lindsay, and Matthews wins another Rocket. So guys, the last thing I want to show you here before we conclude this episode is the progress reports. So Michael Hage had a really good season, so did Michael Misa, so the Michaels are growing really well there. Apart from that, Erik Nightingale is up to an 83, so he's only going to get better from here. That's really good to see. And after that, in the system, not really a ton of growth from the top players, but that's okay. Zykov was our biggest growth prospect that's towards the NHL, although Karpotsev's looking good. And after that, look at this. Dominic Watson scores 93 points in 67 games this year, goes from a 65 to a 72 as a 19-year-old. Kalanos is up to a 72 as well. Burmistrov's a 71, and look at this, Ville Kontonen, 71 overall. Just absolute massive amounts of growth, as he is now, as a 3rd rounder, is now one of our top defensive prospects, so that's really good to see. Apart from that, Edwards grew pretty well. Mackey's up to a 66. Lavalley's up to a 65 at 20. I doubt he actually makes it anywhere, but you never know. Kirill Medvenov's looking all right. Same with Matthias Carlson, but those guys are going to need a little bit more development. And we've got some really good prospects lined up here coming up in this next draft. So yeah, that's really good to see. I'm really excited about how the progress reports are looking here. And that is where we're going to conclude this. So the future is bright in Atlanta. Next episode, we'll see how the lottery treats us, and we will get to the draft. But that is going to be it for me. If you guys enjoyed, show your support down below with a like, subscription, and notification bell. And of course, leave comments. But that is it. This is Etanio signing out, and until next time.